And somewhere here, I've turned that off. We've actually moved everything across to the far end, so we've got a bit more of a conservatory. I got this at the Heart Foundation. It's a table, needs painting. We bought it that colour, but basically it's a table come seat, and I want to paint it. And in there I have fabric stored. In there I have fabric stored, and we have a noisy cat, don't we? Yes, we do. We have a very noisy cat, aren't you? Yes. Now, where's that plate I was making? There it is. So this is the plate. When you print it, and take it off that way, that's what we get, and we'll trim it down. Well, I'm not sure if you can see. It's nice and red here and greens and all sorts here, but it's a bit pale on the screen, so you might not be seeing it, but that's the best of my Christmassy kind of feeling at the moment. I've got some bells up here, jingly bells, so I thought I'd decorate my little wall there especially for you. Anyway, right, welcome to December the 3rd, the 3rd day of Vlogmas. I've been very busy getting orders out for customers, and you just seen a little snippet of a little plate I had to do for someone whose dog had died. I hadn't finished it, but it was just showing you how I did it. So let's get into the Vlogmas, the Advent calendars. And today, Kylie and the machine, day 3. Where is number 3? Number 3 is, oh, it's a big one. Number 3 is this lady here. Can you see it? The lady. So let's run my finger round. My fingernail rather. Can you see it? Right, I've got that open. Now to the knife, because it's hard paper. So I reckon I'm going to drop this down a bit, it's a bit too high. It's hard paper, so I reckon I'm going to have to, the knife makes life so much easier. So I'll go up there, and of course, you know, you're always the first to see, so can I get my finger in? There. I can't get a hold of it. Is there anything in there? Can you see anything? Oh, it's a big one. It's a very big one. Oh, it's a patchy one. It's a one that's, I would imagine it's got paper in the back, so it might indicate it's adhesive. Oh, I like that. That's a patchwork one. Let's get the box out of the way. It's a patchwork one that shows you threads, scissors, cleaning brush, yeah, sewing machine cleaning brush, tape measure, oh, all sorts, threads and fabric, I think. Oh, I like that. So that's a little badge. Yes, it is. It's adhesive on the back. There's a little peel back thing, and I don't know if you can see, it's got shiny there. So it's adhesive. Although it would stick on, I would probably sew around it anyway. It's very stiff, extremely stiff. So that's a little badge. You could go onto a jacket or something. Number 3, December the 3rd. Now I'm putting these into these. I've kept this little pouch bag here that's from Caboodle, and I'm putting all my little labels into here, but I've already lost day 1's. I will find it, but that's I'm putting all my little labels in there. So before I do the next one, I'm going to read my Sherlock Holmes, and the Sherlock Holmes one is day 3, which is actually day 4 because I missed one, and it's called Christmas in the Savannah. A fine mess just before Christmas. Lionheart was our star, the zookeeper cried. The huge lion, king of the jungle, lay rigid on the floor of its cage, looking as impressive in death as it had been in life. If it weren't for the lumps of melting ice hanging from its mane, one might have thought that the creature was taking a nap. Mr. Holmes and the zookeeper bent over the dead beast while Watson examined the carcass. Death by hypothermia, no doubt about it, said Watson. He concluded that. I don't know what will become of us, the zookeeper howled. No one's going to want to visit the zoo in the middle of winter if they can't see Lionheart in his heated cage. The heated cage seems to have been the problem here, Holmes said. The boiler must have gone out in the night. The zookeeper agreed. When I came to check on him this morning, he was already... Maybe it was sabotage, said Holmes. That's why we sent for you, Mr. Holmes. There are no signs of break-in. The boiler room was locked as usual when I arrived at the animal house this morning. There must have been a technical fault that made the boiler go out. We were able to start it up again without any difficulty, but the temperature here was 10 degrees below zero by that time. The funny thing is, the animal house wouldn't normally cool down as quickly as this, which is why we don't have a backup system. The skylights would have to be opened, but as you can see, they're all closed. They can only be opened from the outside, and you'll need a ladder to get up on the roof. I'm sure that the night watchman would have spotted anyone climbing around in the night, and they'd have to scale the wall first, which is especially designed to keep the intruders out. I can't make head nor tail of it. There must be something wrong with the insulation. How are we ever going to cover our losses if the visitors stop coming? We'll probably end up selling this part of the zoo to the local building company. They've had their eye on it for months. Well, we know what this is going to tell you. They want to build a car park there for the new shopping centre they're putting up next door. The irony is, the same company built the animal house in the first place just a year ago. They've already bought up all the adjoining properties. The preparations for building have been going on since August. They're nearly done. You can't miss the bulldozers and cranes ready and waiting on your way out. So, I'm going to tell you what I think it might be the builders there. And you will find out at the end of this, after I've opened the other almanacs, the other advent calendars. So let's see what else they've got. The next one is, Beyond the Pink Door. Remember, we only do it every other day. So this is number 2. And we're looking for number 2, which is, I'll put there so you can see, 3, 9, 6, 10, 4, 12, 2. 2 right at the front it was. So number 2, a nice stripy bag. Nicely packaged. I love the pink colour that she's used. Number 2. See if I can, something hard. Something hard. Well, when it's the pink door, what colour has it got to be? When you are beyond the pink door, what colour has a tape measure got to be? It's got to be... Ready? Are you ready? What colour do you think it is? It's blue, isn't it? Or yellow? It's pink. A pink tape measure. A spotty pink tape measure. Isn't that lovely? But the tape's white. The tape is white. And it's got the little... Does the little button hold it? Hang on. Yeah, the little button holds it so it doesn't fly back. Press that little button. See, one side is spotty. One side's spotty. And the other side has the little button. So when I go like that, it goes back in. Hey! So number 2 from Beyond the Pink Door is a lovely little pink tape measure. So that can go there. Now then, the big caboodle box. what's in the big caboodle box? I've got to find number 2. No, is it number 3, isn't it? Number 3 here. So, oh, straight out. I genuinely tell you, I have not been in this box. They may have put the nearer numbers at the top. Number 3 is a bigger one of those. Now, number 2 was that one. And this is number 3. Number 1 was that one, rather. That was number 1. And this is number 3. So, oh, it's got a rattle about it. These bags are lovely. You can use them for Christmas presents. They're a bit like the Amazon bags when you ask to do a gift. Are you ready? I'll let you see first. Ready? Excellent. Are you ready? Steady. Go. What is it? A stop. It's a stop pills. A stop pills. Have you ever wanted a stop pills? A stop pills. Or in English, a darning mushroom. We talked about this in one of my vlogs the other week. A little darning mushroom. My mother always used to have one, and I thought it was lovely. It was plastic. A plastic hand. It was all dark brown because they used to do it in Bakelite. Do you remember? Everything was in Bakelite. And basically, you put your sock on, or whatever it is you're darning, onto this bit. This screws into the back of it, and then you darn with it. You darn it across there. You use this. This is kind of used as a backing, so that when you put the needle in, you're not stabbing yourself with it, and you've got it actually bounces the needle off there. A stop pills. Well, there you go. That's caboodles, day 3. A darning mushroom. Now then, the next one is my tree house, and I shall show you the tree house now. Every morning she has to have a cuddle, don't you? I think she's a cuddle cat, but she doesn't get many cuddles, don't you? Not you. I think if I had to carry you around all the time like this, you'd be happy. Now then, come and say hello to everybody. Vlogmas day number 3. She's a bit scared. Yeah, because the man's come. He's not very nice, that man, isn't he not? Eh? She's just not sure, aren't you not?
She knows her place.
She knows her place.
It's the pack theory.
The pack theory.
Yeah. I'm the boss.
Oh, poor little thing. He's the boss. Is he the boss? You're not sure about him coming so close, aren't you not?
Boss?
Is he the boss?
Am I the boss?
Yes, you are, you see. He's the boss, isn't he?
Right. Okay.
Eh?
You know, don't you?
Will you do what you're told when the boss tells you?
Yeah, she runs.
Eh? Do you run?
She runs for it.
You do? Little Peter go, do you want to run now? Oops, there you go.
She's gone to hide.
She's gone to hide.
I don't do anything. Don't.
He doesn't, he's not nasty to her. They just know that he's the boss.
I just...
He's hiding because he's full of cold. He's looking bedraggled. Oh, don't put your tongue away. He's full of cold and he's looking bedraggled. So we'll leave him there in that top corner. There we have the cushions which have been dyed. That needs a good clean already because the cats are covered in fur. I've got plastic on the edge of here because they've been scratching the edge of the side here as well as the wall over there when I showed you. scratching, see, taking it all off there. So until they disappear, I'm not buying new furniture. And this is what this looks like. It hasn't taken as well at the back. You can see there's kind of stains, but I'm not bothered because it's just temporary until I like this chair. I was given it by my son. It's one of those Swedish ones. So I think I shall just keep it for the moment and then recover it next year maybe. As you can see, we have machinery over in the corner. We've moved them all over to the corner until those people take them away. And I'll take the cat balls here. And, oh, can I just, Sue Perkins, we got a lovely message from your husband, although my husband says, that's not the Sue Perkins, it's a comedian, is it? And I said, I don't think so. But anyway, he said he was really pleased with the comment that your husband said about how he was explaining how you do bars on guitars. I hope the rest of you weren't too bored by it, but Sue did ask me to tell you about it. Now then, somebody else, let me just see who it was. I have had some lovely comments about the vlog so far. Someone said, if I can find it, in this one I'm going to show you what the covers have turned out like. The ones that I dyed for my conservatory. They've come out lovely. I was really pleased with them. BB Beverly, she said, you've given me an idea of dyeing my conservatory curtains as they are sun bleached. I was considering buying more fabric and making new. Dyeing's going to be cheaper and quicker. Fab idea, thank you. Just two things I've got to point out. One is that make sure your curtains are cotton, because if they're not cotton they won't dye properly. It's got to be cotton. If it's polyester, the dyes that I use, they are no good for dyeing polyesters. They're only for natural cottons. And the second thing is, if your curtains are quite big, you will need more than one pod. I put in there 3 cushion covers, the covers for the IKEA wooden chair. I put in the cushions that went on that chair that were corduroy, and a cover that I put on that the cat sits on. And everything came out fine except for the cushions on the chair. I reckoned I may have put too many into the drum and the dye might not have gone on well. I actually bought 2 pods. I'll show you the size of the pods. I actually bought 2 pods and I only used 1. I thought, well, I can use that again if I need to recolour it again. But this one that I used was plum red, and it's turned out like a purpley colour, purpley red. It looks nice and it goes nice with the sofa. The sofa, I'm a firm believer, we're talking about sustainability. I buy a lot of stuff second hand. I bought that sofa, it was a Marks and Spencer sofa through eBay, and I went up to Newcastle to buy it. Somebody was selling it in Newcastle. And the thing about that is, often people get rid of furniture when they're not even, there's nothing wrong with them. And when I got it, it was absolutely perfect. I like that sofa, and I'm a bit annoyed that the cats have damaged the hell out of it. And I think I was telling his lordship that when eventually the cats go, I think rather than get a new sofa there, I might get that recovered, or I might recover it myself, because it's a lovely little love sofa, it's called. It's wide enough for 2, it's nice for 1 to snuggle into, and I like the shape of it. So the other things that I had were grey. I don't know where they've come from, different places, and they had greys in them. So I figured if I colour them this colour, then they'll tie in. I could have done a contrast colour, but I just thought, no, I'm going to stick to this colour, because a contrast colour would have to be bright, and the bright dye would might show up the marks. So I figured if I go for a dark colour, it won't show as much. The cushions that are corduroy, because they're faded on one side than on the other, The underside is slightly darker than the top side, but you would have to look hard to notice it. So yes, I'm thrilled to bits. Maybe I should have used 2 pods, but I decided I would just do the 1, and it still turned out nice. So if you are BB Beverly, if there's a lot of curtain, you will be best doing 1 curtain at a time, and maybe even 1 pod at a time. I've managed to get these from Amazon for £5. I think they range from £5 to about £7 or £8. Even then, that's cheaper than buying curtains. And as I say, I often, when I have something that I'm not keen on, I try to change the colour, or try to do something just to spice it up, because I know that I'm trying to be sustainable in the sense that I don't want to bin stuff unnecessarily. I remember years and years ago, I went to a course on egg decorating. Why I did that, I don't know, because I ended up with loads of eggs that I didn't really want. But I did this egg decorating course, and the lady who ran it lived round the corner. I'm sure I've told you this story before, but she lived round the corner in a street round about 100 yards away. And next door to her was a hairdresser, and this hairdresser kept throwing things out. Every time she decided she wanted to change her room, she would just say, oh right, you know, like supposing this year we decorated this at the start of the year. Next year, if I was her, I'd be going, oh, I don't like the colour, we're going to redecorate, and because that won't match the furniture, we'll get new sofa, and we'll get new lights, and we'll do the whole house out. And this lady who ran the course lived next door to this hairdresser, and the hairdresser put out this perfectly good lamp for the bin man to take away. And she said to her, you know that light you've just put out tonight, because it was that evening she'd put it out for the bins for the next day. She says, you know that light you put out tonight? And the hairdresser said, yes. She says, are you throwing it away? She says, yes. She says, I've changed my decor, I don't want it. And she says, I know I've only had it a year, but I don't want it, I want rid of it. So the lady taking the course said, well, can I have it when I get home? Can I take it in? And she says, yeah, you can take it in. I've got other things I want rid of. I'll give you, you know, you can come and have a look if you want. And I was thinking, golly, you know, some people just don't, they become a throwaway world. I don't like this, let's throw it away. My daughter gets a bit like that. You know, if I'll say to her, have you got that? And she'll say, no, I've thrown it away. And I'm thinking, why have you thrown it away? There was nothing wrong with it. Even if she'd sold it on eBay or sold it on Facebook or something like that, she could have sold it that way. Anyway, I am going on. I'm mithering. So let's finish off with Sherlock. Well, do you remember what it was about? They found a lion dead in the zoo, and the zookeeper didn't know what's happening, but he was saying that the people who built the zoo, the people who built the paddock, or the people who built the animal house, were the people who had built a shopping centre next door, and he wasn't sure if they were going to be wanting to knock it down to build houses or something. So here's the solution. There we have it. You have provided the missing pieces in the puzzle. Now we can identify the culprit, or rather the person who sent him. Which missing pieces do you mean? Said the zookeeper. I'm talking about the crane and the fact that the same company also built the animal house. The whole thing must have been planned right from the start. When the zoo building was built, a second key to the boiler room must have been cut, making it a piece of cake for someone to enter and turn the boiler off. However, that doesn't explain the mysterious way the temperatures have dropped here, especially so rapidly when the windows were closed. The windows must have been open at some time during the night. Even with faulty insulation, the heat wouldn't have escaped that quickly. You'd need a hole in the wall at least, and the watchman would certainly have noticed an open door. Having ruled out any other alternatives, I deduce that the windows must have been open for part of the night at least. Am I correct in thinking they aren't locked on the outside? That's right, there's just a catch to stop them from flying open. If it's windy, as I've already said, the windows don't need to be locked. You can't get them to you can't get to them without a ladder, and that would have been spotted at once. Not necessarily, said Sherlock. If someone happened to have a crane, they could easily lift anyone up and over the wall onto the roof of the animal house and repeat the process in order to close the windows again, thus hiding any evidence of the crime. So the building company killed Lionheart? Crooks and thieves, a lot of them, harming such a magnificent beast. The reason nobody noticed that the lion was dying of hypothermia, said Holmes, is because such a death happens gradually. The reason nobody noticed that the lion was dying of hypothermia, said Holmes, is because such a death happens gradually. First you lose your strength, you become listless and sleepy, your limbs turn numb, and at some point you fall into a deadly slumber and never waken again. Truly gruesome. What do you think? Shall we visit the owner of the building company and see what he has to say in his defence? Ta-da! There you go. It's likely to be, mind you, he's got to prove it. And he hasn't got the proper proof. If that was these days, they would say you've got to have proper proof, fingerprints. So that was Sherlock's day 3. Is it day 3? Oh, I've been getting all this week mixed up. Yesterday I thought it was Wednesday, and I was wondering why the neighbour across the road was putting his bins out, because they go out on a Friday. Then I was thinking it was Tuesday because of something else happening, and I was totally all over the place with my days. So I don't know what I'm saying that for. Anyway, I am going to go and get on with some work. I'm busy tidying up this half of the shed. I've started neatly doing all my fabrics, which I can let you see there. Neatly doing all my fabrics. And I've got lots of boxes up here. Can you see the boxes? Got to sort those out. Got lots of things I want to organise. And I'm just trying to make it much better to work in. However, although the big from here was a big laser and other things, I think he's going to put a table there with some machines on. I think the table that's in the conservatory that I showed you, I think that's going to come in here because it's really me that works on it. So this might have to become my engraving side, and this is going to be my storage side, and through the front, through that little door there, you can see the little door. That's the other side where my sewing machines are. So, and I've got a little table here that's got flaps coming down. So getting organised, but it's taking some time. Anyway, I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you, and I'll catch you, fingers crossed, tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to see Mummy-in-law. She's had a haircut. She's had a haircut, and she can't remember she's had a haircut, but she's had a haircut. So we're going to see mother-in-law, going to have lunch there, and then we'll be back, and hopefully sometime in the evening I'll be able to put it all together and let you see day 4. So until next time, bye.